Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 247 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news as well as we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my co-hosts.
My name is Craig, and I whiffed on the clap. That's really more of an inside joke for the three of us, but just picture that.
My name is also Craig. I didn't whiff because I don't do the clap. Can't whiff what you don't do.
Yeah, it was only 5 seconds later. It's not that big of a deal. What is a big deal is the news this week, because we do have a little bit going on, if I must say so myself. So I won't make the Switch 2 stuff the lead here. Let's talk about, did you guys watch Marathon? The
Yes.
Marathon live stream? Not the next game I was expecting out of Bungie, if I'm being honest.
No.
What did you guys think?
I don't know. I was kind of mixed. I didn't know what I was looking at.
This, like, I could be wrong, but this just screams Dead on Arrival to me for some reason. I mean, people who love Destiny are obviously going to at least try it. Nothing in any of that made me want to play it.
Are you thinking like Concord Dead on Arrival? Like
I don't think that bad just because it's Bungie. I think people will at least try it, but I think the fact that it's not free to play is gonna hurt it a little bit, especially with what they showed. Nothing really jumped out. It looked like Destiny to me. Are you buying it?
You getting a Barry?
I don't know. Like, the thing is, I don't mind the idea of an extraction shooter. I did think that there are fun elements to be had in that if it can be done well. But like I said, out of Bungie, this is just not what I was expecting. So it was one of those things where I was watching it and subsequently watching people release their impressions on it. And it seems like it's almost like it's it's a trios extraction shooter. And and those types of things where it's PvP, VE sort of deal, it's like it usually ends up being bad for the people who are trying to get into the game and then already know first person, like, versus the people that are new and don't know first person shooters. So I'm kind of surprised with what they decided to announce they're working on and how Marathon works, but I don't want to judge it. It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's definitely fun to be had in an extraction shooter. I remember like certain parts of the Division when you
Division
were able
was
to do
fun.
that. And that was
heck
fun.
yeah, that was. I don't know. In recent memory, I've been proven wrong at least by what I would consider a first big reveal. To see later that's something. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to forgive my take on Silent Hill 2, like in the beginning, and then
Right.
and then actually playing it, you're like, oh my god, I was totally wrong. So this could be one of those things, but I don't know. At the moment, I'm not convinced enough for a purchase price, or at least for a dedication to the game.
Yeah, I would probably be more willing to try it if it was free to play. But I think it's what, 40? I think it's what they said, $39.99. I'm not going to spend 40 on something I'm meh about. Even like graphically, I wasn't that impressive, I didn't think.
Yeah,
Right.
it's quite stylized, but
Yeah.
and it was one of those things where a lot of people that I was looking at listening to what they were saying about it was that, like, the maps are very small, surprisingly small. So how are there going to be more maps that you can go through, and how many classes do you want to add? Because it definitely feels, and from what I heard, like certain classes are overpowered than others, but it really does depend on how you play and how you want to play, whether or not it's stealthy and then leave, or like up front beat other people and then take their stuff and leave kind of deal.
Yeah. I think I'm probably going to end up just watching a bunch of streamers when it comes out.
Yep.
And that'll give me a good idea of, like, is this something I'm interested in? But this is 100% not a day one purchase for me. Not at all.
At the moment, it's not for me either.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I will say about price is that there is no price stuff yet.
Okay.
They said Marathon will be a premium paid title. Marathon will not be a full priced title. So it's one of those things where you're probably right. It's going to be $40. Could be a chance that it is a PlayStation, Premium Plus inclusion, like we have seen with their games before. But
that'd be cool.
But we will see. But Marathon, interesting. Not what I expected from Bungie, but let's see how it turns out. Just gotta wait around there. And then back to the Switch 2 stuff. We do have a new rumored date, would be May 7th, for Switch pre-orders to come up for the United States. If you didn't know, it's also been delayed in Canada as well. So I'm sorry, my fellow Canadian friends in China. This stinks for anyone who is looking forward to a Switch. So.
The China I read was more amidst what their government regulations are in terms of it. It's not more tariff based, just to kind of clear that up. It's not as, because I was surprised when I saw, and then I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh. So
yeah.
And there's been kind of a big deal about how the cartridges are just going to be a download key. Nintendo has come out and confirmed, at least in some good faith or good news, that these cartridges can still be like sold and borrowed to a friend without any issues. I feel like people live under a rock sometimes, because that's literally what happens with the PlayStation games and Xbox games now. Like, the entire game downloads on your console. The disc is literally just a key for you to play it, which I kind of think is BS, if we're being honest. Like, but that's the way we're leaning toward. That's why everybody's kind of leaning toward going digital in the first place, because there's nothing actually stored on the disc some of these times. It's just a literal 100 pin character key for you to play your game. So it kind of stinks for those of us who like physical games, but regardless, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well, we'll have to see. Are you guys still kind of iffy on the Switch too? I know.
I don't know. I'll just go into it really quickly, because like part of my news obviously had the Switch 2 in it, but like it involves this. There's a bunch of analysts that are still predicting that that Nintendo, I almost said China, sorry, Nintendo is going to be deciding possibly to just sell the Switch at a loss and keep it at the pricing that it is. That's a speculation that's going around right now, and I know that we're all just amidst a sea of speculation at this point. That kind of tilt the needle in my favor. I mean, I think even last week I kind of told you guys what my price would be, or the price that would be a no for me.
Right.
But I'm still interested. I know that May 8th date, we don't know about retailers, but we do know it's Nintendo's invite system, which, were you guys surprised at what I would consider the minimal requirements that were set? Because like it says 50 hours of gameplay and just a paid membership, and I'm thinking
for at least 12 months.
For at least 12 months. Sorry.
Is it either membership, like the 20 or the
correct?
Higher
it can be.
It could be either.
And
like, what did you think of that? I was going to ask just what you guys thought of those requirements.
Is it 50 hours in the past year, or is it
from what I read, it's just 50 hours of game hours total.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I barely play my Switch, and I would qualify.
That's what made me laugh, because if it was 50 hours in the last month,
if it was in the last
problem.
If it was in the last year, I would not qualify. I'm telling you that now. Like, if it was 50 hours in the last year, I would not qualify, because I do not have. When we got that yearly wrap up, I think I had like 23 hours on my Switch.
That's wild, Craig. I
don't touch it. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of. I guess Zelda. The latest Zelda would have been the one that would have added another 15 to 20 hours for me. But I think I played enough games for 50. But
oh yeah, I probably have 50 in Mario Odyssey alone. So
right,
and Mario Kart.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had for that. But I just thought it was interesting that some people are still thinking they're going to remain at that price point and decide to sell it at a loss. Maybe do the whole like, hey, we're going to get all the money back in every IP that we own and all of that stuff, ZA specifically will get all of our money back. Like,
I don't know how at this point, how they don't keep it the same price. Like, it would be crazy to me if they raised it. There's no reason to now, right? 90-day pause on tariffs, so that doesn't affect it. And apparently they already have quite a few Switches in the US already that have been shipped
Yeah,
over, so I don't know why they would raise it.
I don't know why.
Yeah, hopefully not, especially for more people to want to get it. Let's
Yep.
talk about kind of weird thing. So we film these on Sundays.
Yep.
Talking about weird. We do have the premiere of The Last of Us season 2 coming out today, and to
Yes.
celebrate that premiere, they released The Last of Us Complete Edition.
And you
with
bought it.
both. No, I did not buy it. I saw that and I thought, like, this is the type of thing where I'm like, this is stupid.
Yep.
Like, I agree that, like, I do get that it does save you some money. I believe it's 110. I believe the game separately would cost you around 140 to 150.
Mm-hmm.
So that is that is for people new to the series a good entryway to get into it. But it's just one of those things where I like saw that, and it's a surprise drop. Like, they didn't talk about this drop or anything. It's only available directly from PlayStation Direct, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
But what a strange what a strange drop. It is a you do
Right.
get some like collectible type things. I do not need that. I already have Ellie right there,
Yep.
and the remasters part 1 and 2 are there too. I don't need anything else. I'm good.
It's so funny. Are we gonna get a? I'm just gonna borrow a Matrix title here. Are we gonna get Last of Us Reloaded 2 years from now, and then Last of Us Revolution 2 years after that? Like, it's just complete edition.
I
It's
literally
wild.
I saw a picture this week. Somebody lined up like all the different versions, and I feel like they have more versions than Skyrim does now. Like, it's just insane because there was like 4 or 5 versions on PS3 alone, and then PS4, PS5. It's insane. I don't know why they keep doing it. Like, who is buying this? Who doesn't own it at this point?
Yeah, a part of me is thinking it's also approaching the Kingdom Hearts range where we had all those versions of Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5,
2.5.
2.8, and then we had a Kingdom Hearts The Story So Far Complete Edition type thing. It is a little funny where it's just a matter of, like, maybe they talked to Square and was like, "Hey, how did these releases do for Kingdom Hearts?" And they went, "They sold, people bought them, so do whatever you want," kind of deal. So it's like, feels like they talked to each other to figure all that out.
Talk about saturation, though.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, I love the games, love the story. It's probably one of the best written video game stories in the last 15 years. But holy heck,
Yeah.
like, they keep reminding us by re-releasing it.
Yep, that they do. Lastly, for me, is we do find out what the soccer game from the creators of Sifu are making, called Rematch. Comes out June 19th. It really is like a reactive soccer game. Based off of what I've seen, I am interested. I am
Same.
interested to see, like, what kind of fun this game could be. Pretty much it is soccer, but with a Rocket League type arena, if you will. The ball does not go out of play. It just bounces around. There are keepers and whatnot, things like that. But I am quite pleasantly surprised at what looks like a fluidity of how you control your player and how the ball gets crossed or how it gets shot, kind of deal. I imagine there has to be some sort of arcadiness to it, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm most interested in seeing is how do they make this fun?
Right.
Because, like, soccer pretty much is like FIFA has it.
Yeah.
EA Sports, FC Sports, yeah, has what soccer is in a plethora, but how do you make this different and fun? And I do think they have a shot at it. It does look pretty arcadey, pretty fluid, and how you kind of control and dribble the ball seems to be very controlled and responsive, which I like. So we'll have to see.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Barry. I think where the market is lacking is arcadey sports.
Yeah,
Because like NBA Jam did it right, NFL and NBA Street did it right. There was a certain non-realism to the game that brought people back, and I understand those are older titles, but they are coveted titles in video game history. So I'm with you. I'm interested to kind of see what Rematch has to offer. And I think they bought a lot of goodwill from the public because of Sifu. So I think that there's a lot of people like us who are interested to see what they have to bring there.
Yeah, I'm definitely down. anything kind of like Rocket League, I'm immediately interested in. I'll be there.
But
That
yeah,
was your
that
last
is
one?
it. Yeah,
All
that
right.
was it for me in news. It's your guys' turn.
Okay. Xbox Showcase, June 8th. So not too far away. I have the list of supposed games that will be there. I thought this was kind of interesting. Obviously not 100% confirmed,
Yes,
but
please do.
interesting. First and foremost, Gears Collection. I don't know if that's 1 through 3 or if they're going to include Judgment and all that other, but that is listed. Ninja Gaiden 4, Minecraft Dungeons 2, Silk Song, and then last but not least, they do have listed Persona 4 Remake.
Yeah, yeah.
Yay. Also,
Uh,
Silk Song.
Silk
Silk
Song.
Song.
I mean, that one I think is, if any of them are like in my mind a definite, it's got to be that because it was on Switch's like thing. So I feel like they're gonna have something. My personal like Gears is probably the one I'd be most excited for. You guys probably Persona 4, right?
No, we don't like Persona.
It's
I'm just
Gears.
fine.
It's Gears for me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably
Yeah,
Persona for me, but I'm not a Gears guy yet.
yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I do like Persona, and 4 is one of the ones that I think is special in a lot of ways. But
Yeah.
for me, like Gears of War, if it's like an actual just like remaster and not just like not like a here's a port kind of deal. And
Mhm.
even if, to be honest, even if it is a port, I'm still gonna play it. Like I really missed playing that game, like with like especially like how we played Gears 4,
5.
wasn't it?
5.
Five,
Yep.
five for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting to play the duo kind of campaign,
Yeah.
and even with 5, there wasn't as much of like the separate paths that you go on kind of deal as much as it was with 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that well, we are going to see more of it and get
Yeah.
back to kind of that one person affecting the battle in one way and the other one doing one other thing. I really enjoy that portion of it.
Yeah, I would love to play through the first 3 again, honestly.
Yeah.
They're great.
Um,
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, so what do you guys think is the surprise that is not on that list that shows up there? Do you think there is one?
I don't know. I feel like Persona 4 would be the surprise, right?
I guess.
Even though it's kind of like a poorly kept surprise at this point.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I don't know. I can't think of anything else.
Fable?
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark?
Maybe that's
Yeah.
still floating out there. I don't know. They said it was going to be a big one, so
I maybe Fable got pushed.
Fable, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's almost done in the oven.
Yeah. There's been rumors about the Oblivion remake in the past month or so. So that could be something they're like, hey, we remade Oblivion and it's out today.
Could be
I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
I would give that a shot for sure. I don't know. We'll see. Still a couple months off, so we got some time. Right a couple days after the Switch 2 comes out. So
it's gonna be a busy week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy. That's a Sunday that the Xbox Showcase is on. The last thing I have I thought was kind of interesting is some Death Stranding news, since we're also excited for Death Stranding. The bosses, if you die to the boss, any of the bosses in the game, you have the option to skip the boss battle, and it gives you like a graphic novel cutscene, and you can just move on with the game. Hideo doing Hideo things again.
Yeah.
Yo, I love
kind of cool though. Like he wants
kinda...
people to see the story. So if you're up against nothing in any of his games has ever been notoriously difficult, I don't think.
No.
But I like the accessibility with this. Would you ever skip one?
I don't know if my pride would allow me to. I just can't stop thinking if that feature was added to any Souls-like game, how hilarious that would be. It's like, oh, this boss is pissing me off. You know what? I'm just gonna skip it. You know. But anyway, that's clever.
I would have used it in First Berserker for sure.
Oh my word! Yeah,
a couple times I've been like, "Nah, I'm good."
No, I'm good. I understand how the boss
but it's
works.
interesting. I just think of like that's the first thing I thought of. Like, oh, that'd be awesome in a Souls game. But do we need it in a Death Stranding? But I think it's more of just him thinking outside the box of like, I want as many people to play this as possible, even people who may not be as good at video games. So let me just do it so you can just see the story.
That's super cool. And has that ever been done or something like that? I don't think it has. I don't think games let you
Um,
skip bosses.
I mean, if talk about later because all of us play, but South of Midnight has an option to turn off battling altogether and boss
Yeah.
battles if you really want to. So there's that, but not that I can think of. I can't think of any game where you could skip. They'll do
That's
like if
wild.
you die a couple times, they'll give you the message like, "Do you want to lower the difficulty?"
Yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of
And that
stuff.
always makes me angry. I'm like, "No, shut up!
Are you not good at this game? And do you need
Stop
My
some
telling me
help?
I'm
pride,
bad."
yeah. My
Yeah,
pride.
yeah. I don't think I've ever hit yes on those because I get so
Oh no.
angry. I'm like,
Oh
"Don't
heck
do
no.
that to me."
Don't ask me that question politely.
But yeah, that was the last thing I hit.
All right. Actually, all my news was tied into the stuff we went over with Switch 2 and the showcase. Actually, so I'm all good.
Cool. Uh-oh.
Sorry. Roy McIlroy just missed his putt to win the Masters.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Sorry. No, it's the sports. It's the sports guy in me. So let's get into games.
games.
Games this week for me are Marvel Rivals. The new season came out. I kind of have a little bit of a review of the person and how that all goes. And I believe we all played
Yes.
South of Midnight.
Yes. I finished it. I don't know if you guys did.
Not yet.
Okay. And then I went back to First Berserker.
It's kind of funny because I've been chipping away at South of Midnight, and I've been chipping away at First Berserker, which is why I haven't finished South of Midnight.
That's fair. I just fully committed to South of Midnight, and I was like, I'm not going to play anything else until I finish it. So
It's not a long game. If I
no, probably like I don't know, 8 to 10,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
So, do we have an actual update for First Berserker, or should we let's just do Rivals, and then we'll all do South of Midnight? You want to do it like that?
Works. How's those new
Yeah.
skins?
So the new skins are nice. What I will say is there really isn't too much to be done with the game just yet. We did get Emma Frost, who you'd think is ice ability. She's more of mind powers than anything. It's kind of like
That's weird.
Yeah. Or at least that it seems like that's the way it is. I don't know as much about Emma Frost as maybe most Marvel fans do. But you hear Frost, you think aptly named ice powers. But I know she can turn her skin to diamond, and she does some like brainwashing stuff as well in the game. So she's a cool hero. It's a nice new tank. I'm more interested in pretty much all of the leaks are going toward Ultron is going to be the strategist coming out.
Thanks, Ninja. Did you see that video?
Yeah,
he leaked it.
Oh, Ninja leaked it? Oh.
Yeah.
That guy. Barry, who's your main, by the way?
I am a Cloak and Dagger main. I am very,
I'm a Loki main.
I'm the most basic MFer in the game. I am a Cloak and Dagger main.
Got it.
But with that being said, like I do kind of wonder, do these people get in trouble for doing this? Like you'd think that there's a fine for Ninja to be leaking. Like you had to have signed an NDA, but
all I know is I watched Tim's video, Tim the Tap Man, and he was playing with Ninja when Ninja said it, and the look on Tim's face was very like, oh no, you know, because like that's Marvel, that's a big deal because they didn't want that out there yet. So I would imagine, or maybe they pull, you know, stuff from being sent to Ninja in the future.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but now everybody knows.
Now everybody knows. Yeah, I am excited for it. The new map is kind of cool, a little bit more like natural cover than what I'd say. I do think the battle pass is pretty awesome, and just to let you guys know how much of a loser we are, or I am really, the battle pass and the whole theme for this season is like a Hellfire Gala, which is apparently a portion in the comics that does happen. So for the opening day of the said thing, I did dress up in my suit and tie and played Marvel Rivals on the couch by myself.
Let's do that.
Why?
I have to love it.
It was my friend's idea, and then when I asked my friends about it, they all went, "No, we didn't do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, no one did, just me. Okay."
I'm so happy you did that.
If there's one thing I've learned about you is that any chance for you to wear a suit and tie, you will take.
That's true.
That is on brand for me. That is absolutely.
That is
you enjoy it, so
yes, it's
nothing
comfy,
wrong with that.
And ain't nothing wrong with looking good.
That's true.
Nope.
Especially when
nothing
you're
wrong
playing
with
a video game.
Yeah. That Justin Timberlake and Jay-Z song "Suit and Tie" was made for
Mhm.
you,
Yep.
right there.
Yeah, I should have played that while going. My girlfriend made fun of me a lot for that, so I'll live I'll live with that and it'll be okay. Uh let's talk about South of Midnight.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about South.
I'll let you guys talk because I just did talk about Rivals. Just overall, I really, really like this game. This is awesome, and I love the art style.
First and foremost, get this out of the way because everybody's complaining about it. Yes, the combat is repetitive.
Yes.
Right? That's the one thing I would change is not like the entire game is literally you go into a little circle arena, you battle, and then you cleanse it, rinse and repeat. I didn't mind it because the story is so good.
Right.
And the fact that the game looks this pretty and the art is so good, and at the opposite end, the story is so dark, is why I think it works so well. Like just super depressing stuff they're talking about. It's crazy.
Right. Under the guise of some adorable parts and some great,
Yep.
as Barry was mentioning, some just great visual um, representation.
Yeah.
Where they dot in the music is what gets me.
Yep.
One of the first chapters where it really hit me was chapter 3. And not to spoil it because it is a new game that's out, but there's a section that you're essentially you're understanding what the mini story is in that chapter specifically.
Yep.
And the song that gets peppered in kind of when you put a couple of things together in terms of the story, it's as you're climbing, and the song is dedicated to that chapter, and it fits the not only just the environment, but it fits what happened. So that's one of the big things for me, definitely besides the visuals that hits. The fighting is repetitive. It's kind of nice going from Kazan back to something that's easy,
Mm-hmm.
if I may add, even if it is repetitive. But killer story.
Yeah.
Nice work of art there.
Every chapter has a song that ties into the story, which is phenomenal. Once you guys get further along, I don't know where you're at, if they've mentioned Hugging Molly yet, or if you've heard of Hugging Molly yet. But to me, that was like the highlight of the game. That boss battle, and then what happens right after is something that I would put in for like one of the best moments of the year for me so far.
Right.
The Hugging Molly looks incredible. Her story is, I mean, they're all depressing, right? But like her story is great. And the song that plays is phenomenal. All the songs are phenomenal. I think if you were to listen to it on your own, you'd probably just kind of be like, eh. But when you factor in what you're doing in the game and the story you're hearing, like the songs are just like they hit. It's incredibly well done game for sure.
Yeah, it's a really like cool thing when game developers take music as seriously as they do and weave it into the storytelling. Like,
oh heck yeah,
I feel like we do see it more often now than we used to.
Yeah,
sure. And like just I loved like the take on like mythology here and like the old story times and voodoo times and things like that. It is definitely just like it's their own take, and I love them for that. And the art style shows like I think the art style has a lot to do with like how they can portray people like hugging Molly in the bottle tree.
Yep.
So
yeah.
It's kind of like one of my best surprises of the year. I was excited for this game, and it just kind of go over and go, yeah, this deserved, I think, the hype that people gave it, and that's
right.
Becoming increasingly rare as we go along.
Yeah,
it's in its own take there, and going along with the music tying into the story, I feel like in our younger years, you really could rely on. And there's outliers, but like RPGs, JRPGs are classically known for doing that. It's really nice to see, I guess, as we're getting older, that becoming more of a factor in a lot of different genres. Like, even if it's action RPG or even if it's like action adventure, like I think you would call this just kind of like an action adventure game.
Yeah.
There's such minimal RPG elements, I think, but everything's interwoven with each other, and they all work well. like a team to provide a positive experience. So I'm interested to see where this lands on all of our lists end of the
Yeah.
year. I know we have a lot of takers who are trying to make their way into the top 10. This is an April surprise. It's a good Game Pass game. It's a good normal game.
Yeah.
If you weren't to get it on Game Pass, and I'm glad we're all pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, there's just so many good characters. Like the catfish is incredible. I love him to death.
Yeah.
Hazel's a phenomenal main character. It's
She is
just
a lot
man.
of depth, a lot of
Yeah.
depth.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Just an incredible. I think like it's. I feel like it's probably gonna end up in my top 10 somewhere. I don't think it's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
get
how I'm
pushed
feeling
out.
about it too.
Yeah.
I'm
I
thinking
really
about.
don't.
It's so unique.
It is. Yep.
We talk about TV shows now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
TV shows, I have finished and binged Reacher, so I can now talk
Sweet.
about Reacher. And it's kind of a weird surprise I found on my Amazon Prime is the new Mobile Suit Gundam Cukes.
Okay. What was that last word? Mobile Suit Gundam. What?
Hugh.
It's really hard to say. I think it's like
Cukes?
Cukes.
Cute.
It's
Okay.
QUXXXXXXXXX.
Oh, that's a lot of X's.
It is a lot of X's. I'm skipping the X's.
Okay. There was a few TV shows that finished this week, so I can give like final impression. The Pit ended, and then Netflix's I have not talked about this at all, but The $1 Million Secret. And then I did watch Novocaine, the movie Novocaine.
I had a couple of TV shows end this week too. Season 3 of White Lotus ended this week, as did Yellow Jacket. Oh, sorry. Actually, I think Yellow Jacket's still going on, so maybe I don't do that one.
I think it's over.
Oh no, it's over. It's over. It's over. Sorry, I'm getting them confused because I started The Pit.
Okay.
This week, I also started, and Barry knows this, Solo Leveling, which is I've been told by about 10 to 15 nerds to watch that. So I have fresh takes on Pit and Solo Leveling, being about 3 or 4 episodes in on each, and then ending takes on White Lotus and Yellow Jackets.
Right, it's kind of funny how a lot of this stuff like follows like a release season where we have about 4 different TV shows that ended because they all started at the same time.
Yep.
And now we have new ones like The Last of Us season 2.
Yep.
Starting up here, which I'm excited for nonetheless. I'll talk about Reacher because it's the kind of the oldest as we finished it. It is kind of crazy to me. I think this is probably my favorite season.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Yeah, like I just love this and especially how they do the first 2 episodes. You're kind of like, okay, this isn't really Reacher like, if we're being honest, like to figure out and see what's going on. For the second episode to only turn it around and said we all did that on purpose, I thought was a really cool. And then as you go along, like as much as I hated him, I loved Angel. I thought he was such a fun character. For as little screen time as he got, it was one of those things where, like, if you're in that kind of business, you're probably good at catching details, and he's like getting all the details and he figures it out. And then Reacher just does what Reacher does, and that final episode was, if I could be honest, I really wish, and just linking the two, the brutality of the last 2 episodes of Reacher, I wanted the brutality out of The Last of Us season 1 finale.
Yep.
Like, Reacher is with a shotgun and he is just mowing, like mowing the bad guys down. Like, there is no thought in his head other than I'm getting the guy that I'm getting him today. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Where I just, like The Last of Us, for example, season finale, season 1, it skipped that the brutalest part. We skipped. Yep. So it was one of those things where I just didn't get the satisfaction where you get it here today. And how what is her name? Neely. Mm-hmm. Gets always roped into his antics, like somehow. It's fun. The Neely's scene when she's defending her office is actually probably one of my favorites too, because it shows you how much of a psychopath she is. Mm-hmm. And I love her for it. Reacher continues to be one of the best things that Amazon Prime, I believe, has done. And then on top of that too, like, Alan Richardson, just like talk about like a rework of your entire career,
For
where
real.
like he is so good at playing Reacher, and everyone just knows him as Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State. And don't get me wrong, it's awesome that he played that role and he aces it so well, but he also kills the Reacher role just as well. And I am personally glad that he got out of just being the Thad Castle role,
The
because it
dumb
goes to
jock.
show, yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
because it goes to show he is much better
Yeah.
than the dumb jock role.
I can't remember the last time I've seen in a movie or TV show that at the very beginning, pretty much, they introduce a bad guy. I mean, they do it in every like 80s action movie. There's always a bad guy that's bigger than the main character. Always, right? And that's like,
Mhm.
you're always like, that's the last one of the last people he's going to fight, right? That's just a very 80s and 90s thing. But I can't remember the last time that they build that up for the
Yeah,
entire season. And when they finally throw down, it's the best payoff. Like, it's not like a 20-second fight, it's like a 10-minute fight. Like, it's just going on and on. Because it's not like, oh yeah, he's bigger, but Reacher's going to find a way to win quick because it's Reacher. No, they go back and forth, which was cool.
and it is fun too, like the guardhouse.
Yeah.
Like they keep. I'm trying not to spoil it,
Yeah.
but in case Craig watches it, but like they do this whole thing with the guardhouse where they're kind of like, hey, look what's in the guardhouse, guys. Do you see what's in
Yeah.
the guardhouse? And they use it for a little bit in one scene, and then you're like, wait, is that really what we got out of it? No, it is not what you got out of it, and it was so awesome just to
Yep.
see how that ended. I had to rewatch that. I
Yeah.
had to rewatch the guardhouse thing because I was like, did I miss something? What happened? And then you finally figured it out.
Yeah, fantastic show. Make like 18 more seasons, please. I don't know how much longer they can go, but I think they could get another 3, probably.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll do Mobile Suit because then Craig can use it to get into solo leveling here.
Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam Cukes it's kind of really strange in a way, just because this is a Mobile Suit Gundam is more like rooted in reality, if that's kind of hard to say. It's not like very colorful or like vibrant in any way. This being a Mobile Suit Gundam made from the creators of Evangelion also tells me, no, this shouldn't be colorful or uplifting or any of this stuff. And it is like one of the coolest looking anime I've seen in a while. And just like the character designs also are very bright, vibrant, and like they're memorable. Like you're used to seeing really monotone character looking, and there's so many characters that look like the people in Solo Leveling as you're watching, Craig.
Yeah.
Whereas in this show, people just look different. It's kind of like when people looked at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show and were like, wow, everyone looks ugly. Like these people don't look ugly, but they look different. And that's what's kind of keeps sticking in my head. And this definitely has a Japanese kind of swordsman vibe to it, which I'm also interested to see how that goes. But it's only one episode so far, and I have enjoyed and interested in watching the rest of it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess transitioning into solo leveling, I am almost last on the train. I hear getting on this, but it's a South Korean webtoon. Was it based off of manga?
It's a manhwa, and
Manhwa.
It is
Okay.
manga, but manhwa is just a Korean-based manga.
Got it. All right. Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for.
But it essentially it's set in a world where there's a bunch of portals that open up and these monsters get loose like around the world, and we have hunters to defend humanity. Now, not everybody's a hunter. You're like born with a specific level or tier that you hunt. So like between A, B, C, D, and E, at least is what I've seen so far. And once you figure out or are your power is discovered, like you go and you get like a test done to see where you're at. If you're A, you stay at A your entire life. Like you don't go up, you don't go down, you can't train and get better. the main story surrounds Jinwoo, who essentially is one of the notoriously lowest level. He's an E. He travels with parties that are higher level than him. They make fun of him. He almost dies in every scenario he's in. They go in dungeons, which is pretty cool. I like the fact that they call them dungeons openly in the show. And he like literally almost dies, and it's a very violent life for him because he's trying to survive. He has a friend who's a level B healer, so she is constantly like trying to heal him. But they go into this dungeon. He goes with like a group, and he gets the standard treatment. And the group almost gets wiped out, but in the process, he helps the group with his wit, and he gets selected. And again, I'm only about 3 or 4 episodes in, but he gets selected by something in the dungeon, and it gives him the power, the only person with the power to level up. So that's huge. And like where I'm at in the story, nobody knows it yet but him. So I'm interested to see where this goes, because I like that there is a set level. There's S, there's A, there's, and they all get revered based off of how high they are. But he is the only person in the world that has a overwhelming amount of monsters kind of roaming around that can level up, and how that portrays to the story. So I found that a fascinating, like clearly a lot of other people, I found that a fascinating premise. It's great thus far. The scene where he discovers his power, or he gets chosen for his power, is a pretty lengthy 1.5 episode, which I felt real danger with them, like with the group that was in, and I thought it was very well done. I see the craze behind it, and I'm excited to continue with the story. It's pretty cool, and I love that solo leveling, or how it's translated, is only I level up. I don't know, for some reason I love that. Like that's anyway.
It's a pretty good show. I'm interested to see how you get all the way there. It's very popular, of course, but
yeah, I see why.
It's a good show.
Where to next?
I don't know. Maybe I'll do one more. We could throw it over to you, Craig. I'll do either. I'm gonna do White Lotus, because White Lotus is like heavily talked about right now. Season 3. Just as a recap, White Lotus is an anthology series that is set at fictional White Lotuses around the world, usually involving the rich and affluent that can afford the hotel. This particular season centered on a bunch of different characters. There was a group of 3 ladies who all achieved very high success in their life, and they were just doing a vacation together. There was a family of a very rich financial. He's kind of like a trader. And he brought his family there. There's some locals in Thailand that have an interesting story. It's just well done. And I think that I say this maybe once an episode at least where we're watching it, that I'm a fan of anthology. And this show really hit the mark. Now, season 3 specifically had a lot of anxiety-inducing moments with some characters. I think there always is, because I mean, the show's formula is you find 1 or more dead bodies in the first episode. They show you that at the beginning, and then the whole rest of the season takes the course of 1 week of all the inhabitants at the White Lotus resort. I keep calling it a hotel. Sorry, resort, that stay there, and how and who those dead bodies are. So that's what makes it interesting. I think it's fabulous that you can go to season 3. If you're a person that's more partial to Thailand, go to season 3 and just watch it because you like Thailand. If you like Italy, season 2 is set in Italy, and then Hawaii is the first. It's awesome. Parker Posey killed it this round. I have to look at Jason Isaacs. I mean, it's hard to not see him as Malfoy's father, but once you get past that,
yep. He'll forever be typecast as him.
He's just but he plays this really well. He's just a very rich guy from Duke that made millions and billions throughout his career, and he brought his family up with him. One of his sons is Patrick Schwarzenegger, who I know that there's talk of like, yeah, he should be good at semi good at acting because he's a nepo baby, but he played his role really well. He played his role really, really well. If you go down the list, everybody kind of hits home. But I recommend it. I highly recommend it. Like I said in one of the episodes in the past, they really put a focus on the location and the culture and the wildlife and the weather system, all of that surrounding it. So I wasn't joking. If you like Italy and you're looking for a show that has kind of like a whodunit murder kind of thing, watch the season 2. You know, if you like Thailand or are interested in Thailand or even just interested in another place, watch it because they just inject a lot in there. Highly recommended. It's the talk of the town right now. SNL just made fun of it, or what do you call it?
Good
Parried it.
skit. Yeah, good skit by
Yeah,
SNL. One of the
yeah,
better ones.
they parried it last night. It definitely is stamped there. Now, if I had a preference, it's it's actually hard to decide. Maybe season 2 in terms of it, but season 3's got to run for its money for best that I've seen. So
Fair. I mean, how much of the Pit did you watch? How many episodes?
I think we're at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So what is that? 3 episodes? Oh, wait,
Okay.
sorry. We're like 3 or 4 episodes in.
I think there's 14. I think 14 was the one that just aired. You will have to pry this from my cold dead hands to get this out of my top 10. Let me just say that. I don't know why I shouldn't care about emergency room dramas, but there's just something about that show and like the characters. All the characters are super entertained to watch, whether you love them or hate them. There's nobody on that show that I'm indifferent about. Like, I'm very passionate about every single person. Either like I love them to death, or I'm just like, oh my god, they're the worst person in the world. But yeah, it is just phenomenal TV. Phenomenal. The whole, like, every episode is an hour works. You're completely invested. That show is one of the few shows right now that it flies by when I watch. Every time I watch an episode, I'm like, oh, it's been an hour already. Oh crap. That doesn't usually happen. Like, there's shows I really like, but it still feels like an hour. Like White Lotus can be that way for me sometimes, where it'll fly by.
Oh yeah.
But The Pit, man, every time it feels like 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh man, it's over. Yeah, that one is firmly planted in the top 10 for me this year, unless something drastic happens. I don't believe it will. Do you have thoughts, Craig?
They're gonna probably end up in your thoughts, or it's similar to your in your thoughts. They're gonna end up similar to your thoughts. My wife and I could not look away. The only thing that stopped us from continuing last night is the fact that it was last night and it was getting late and we needed to go to bed. Weren't yawning because we were bored or anything like that. We're like, we need to go to bed. Like, I think what makes this work for me, because my wife tried to take me through Grey's Anatomy and we did a good chunk. There's a lot of hospital shows or hospital dramas that add a lot of the drama. And when I say that, I mean who's dating who, what doctor.
I don't care about that. Yeah.
What doctor missed their shift yesterday because they had an affair. There's a lot of that going on. This is just straight up hospital. It is a underpaid, understaffed, minimal resources, fictional Pittsburgh hospital, where the group there knows their stuff, minus the people who are the medical students that are learning but know some stuff. And that's the nitty gritty. There's not as much music as I thought. And I thought that was an interesting, as I would think. And I think that's an interesting take because it's just straight hospital. What's going on? Who's coding? Like, what? Like, who are we calling? Because they're dead. It's kind of like, it just keeps you in that mix. The hour formula is great. I was very pleased to know to remember that it's the guy, the people who did ER.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of rebooting ER, this is kind of what they came up with. So they took 24 and they took hospital drama and they said, let's skip all the crap. Let's just give you what it's like to work in a hospital. It's apparently highly respected by medical professionals who think it gives an accurate take of those conditions and working in those type of conditions. It's an all around thumbs up. And yeah, cold dead fingers comment for me already for the Pit. Dana's my homie.
Yeah.
I freaking love Dana. I don't know if there's a reason for me not to love Dana as the series goes on, but I really do like her. And there's I don't know. I'm invested in the characters, and without spoiling it, Craig, there's the one kid that left I'm very concerned about. Like, I
Oh
know
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
probably know,
Yep. Yeah,
but the one
yeah, that's like a big part of the back half of the season.
I
Yeah.
I'm super nervous and
Yeah.
anxious.
Yeah.
I'm super nervous and anxious, but that's all I have to say because I don't think I can say more without revealing much.
Yeah.
If you are squeamish, there's some stuff in there
There's
like
some
that.
stuff. Yep.
They don't cut away. There was somebody who, and this doesn't ruin it for you. There's a lady who got run over. Her foot got run over by a train, and they had to like set her mangled foot before proceeding with a different things. That was a lot.
It's a lot. They
That was a
don't do
lot.
it all the time, but when they do, it's very like in your face.
Right.
I mean, there's literally an episode where they deliver a baby and they do not cut away. They're
Yeah.
just like, this is a, you know what I mean? So get yourself ready for that. But in all honesty, like I watching this reminded me the first time when I watched the first season of The Bear. That's how I feel about it. I'm just like, dang, television. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I feel about it.
Television.
This is
Front to
television.
back.
Yeah. Incredible. $1 Million Secret on Netflix. This one like came out of nowhere. I had no idea it existed, and then I watched it, and then they released 3 episodes at a time. It's that straight up reality TV trash that I love. Craig, I know you do too. I'll just give you the basic premise. There's a set amount of people in a house. They all have a box, and one person's box has $1 million in it. That's the premise, and they have to do a daily activity. And then at the end of the day, or I don't know if it's multiple days, it could be, they all vote who they think the millionaire is. Whoever they vote gets sent home, regardless of whether they're the millionaire or not. If they do pick the millionaire, then the money gets randomly reassigned to somebody else. If they don't, somebody innocent went home, and it just slowly whittles down the numbers. But I think what works is they're constantly changing the formula of the game. Like it starts out very basic, where it's like just figure out who the millionaire is. The millionaire every time has a specific agenda that they have to complete. If they complete it, they get an advantage. And it could be like, oh, your vote counts double or something along those lines. But it'd be something obvious like get 3 people to switch seats with you. And obviously everybody else in the house is very like paying attention to stuff that's out of the ordinary. But it just like constantly gets more complex as the season goes on. And I was just like, I shouldn't like this, but I was so drawn in and I was like, train wreck, can't look away. I think it's just because everybody's lying to each other, you know, and it's just like the greatest thing when everybody's trying to lie to each other.
Yeah.
And there's only like 8 episodes, so you can get through it very quick if you want to.
What's it called? What's it called again?
The $1 million. I literally just deleted it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you're
the
good.
$1 million Secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go onto Netflix, it should be like one of the top ones right now. And then Novocaine. I don't know if you guys saw anything about this movie. I feel like it was in theaters for like a week.
Yeah,
And
but I
then
do remember seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
seeing or hearing about it.
And it just disappeared. It's actually pretty good. Really basic premise. He just doesn't feel pain. And he works at a bank. The bank gets robbed. They take the girl that he likes hostage, and he's just going after them and kind of becoming like almost exactly like how he is in The Boys, like a superhero, but not a superhero, and like a reluctant superhero. But
Yeah.
the twist at the end is good, and like it's just fun. It's real dumb. Like he's just constantly taking pain, getting like stuff like shoved through his leg or like sticking his hand in a fryer or something stupid like that because he can't feel anything. Way better than it has any means to be. Honestly, it should not be that good. I don't know if it's like top 10, probably not for me, but it's definitely worth a watch at least once. I may watch it again. We'll see.
Jack Quaid is everywhere now.
He's
Isn't he?
literally everywhere. He's living it up this year. And I don't
Good
know
for
if The
him.
Boys comes back this year or next year, but he's got that going for him too.
We have one more season with the boys, right?
Yes.
They would like totally just confirm that like this is
As
is
far
gonna
as I
round.
know, yeah, it was the final
Yeah.
season. Yep.
Wow. All right. Yellow Jackets season 3. Watch this show. Just watch it. It's fantastic. Maybe not watch it with your kids. Like if your kids are like 10 or younger, because there's definitely some people eating stuff in there and all that. But But season 3 answered a lot of questions for fans. I would say actually more a moderate amount of questions. There's been things. This show is incredibly written, and my wife put it best. She wants to go back and watch season 1 because there's a couple of things in like the first episodes that you slowly remember as a fan. And I don't know. Like I'm speaking very carefully here because there is a dedicated fan base to this show. I have learned as we have watched fan theories and all these different things. Um, One of the things surrounding fan theories is something called pit girl. Pit girl is somebody is what is exactly what it is. Like you see a girl in a pit very very early in the seasons, and then you're wondering who it is the entire time. And that's something that they touch on here. Not going to reveal if they fully touch on it or not, in case there's people at home that are not through it. But one of the other surprises this season too, they announced before the season started that Hilary Swank and Joe McHale were going to be in this season, and it was just really fun figuring out because they were not in the first episode and wondering how they get introduced, what character they are. Joe McHale played a very interesting character, which is less comedic for him. And Hilary Swank, I'm always down when Hilary Swank gets added to a cast list, and she did a phenomenal job as well. But it delivered like it has been. There's been a lot of momentum. There's been a little complaining from the fan base because they think that the season was slow, but it was not. I mean, you could argue episode 1 and 2, but it ramps up and it delivers. So I don't know. I know that I've given the synopsis a couple of times on here, but it's just it's a fantastic show, and I really hope that I know that we're getting 5 seasons, I think, total of that, which leaves 2 left. So the way it's going, season 4 and 5 are going to be a trip.
I'm not caught up yet. I am still literally on season 2. I haven't even started season 3 yet. I'm like way behind. I'm getting there though.
Dude, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, what's not wild is the ending of this podcast, as it is time for us to go. We appreciate everyone for listening and all the support they give us every week. Please make sure, if you are listening on your podcast listening platform of choice, please make sure to leave a star rating, leave a review, leave a thumbs up, leave whatever they require from you. We'd appreciate any sort of rating, and let us know how you like us or what we need to improve on. We appreciate feedback as well. On YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you comment below. Let us know what you think of South of Midnight, or if there are any other games that we're missing. Apparently, the Blueprint is pretty good.
I am also that. I forgot.
Okay.
Leanne started that too. We could talk.
Yeah.
I talk about it next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I want to play it some more.
Yeah. Puzzle game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we appreciate all the support we get every week, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you.